What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Home Chrome, and today we are over here at the Garage Museum in Salina. This wasn't going to be the original video that I had planned for this weekend. Unfortunately, it got rained out. So instead of trying to get 6,000 pounds worth of Cadillac unstuck out of my yard, we decided to come to the museum. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to walk around, take a look at some of these cool cars. We're going to go look at Rosie and the car that's sitting next to it, along with all the other cars in her exhibit. So pretty exciting day today, and so let's get to walking.
Say, Jade.
He's the king of the road, the master of sass, right thing. Got an 8-ball shifter. Whoa. Got some flames on the door. Just live to pop wheelies with my 4x4. Better than a bunch of singing raisins. Rat Fink and the Rad Rods, each sold separately. Ow! You drive me wild! Think.
So the first car we're going to start off with here, this is a 1957 Cadillac Eldorado, also known as the Coolsville Cad. This car was originally built by Jeff Myers down in Ark City, Kansas. Unfortunately, we lost Jeff here a few years ago, and he was a huge customizer in the Wichita area car scene. His son now owns this car, so I have to say that the couple times that I've cruised with this car and my own car is really a huge part of my history as far as the car scene goes. Absolutely gorgeous car. I don't think there was really one part of this car that was untouched. As you can see, we've got molded fenders, we've got a chopped top. The front fenders have been peaked, the car's been lowered. Absolutely gorgeous color. Of course, you have the custom interior with the seats, I believe, out of a 64 Riviera, so that they swivel. Just an absolutely gorgeous car. And then moving up here, we have got this right here, I believe was it was originally a 1963 Chrysler New Yorker, which is what it is, built by Ryan's Rod Service in Florence, Colorado. This is another car that is just, look at it. We've got angel hair on the dashboard. We've got, sweet custom paint, chopped top, built up like a wagon. Got Krager wheels, just absolutely gorgeous car. It's got a 10-inch chop, shortened to 2 doors, filled in the back windows, French 53 Buick tail lights, and he added fins to it. Look at this. This is just wild. Just wild. Look at that. Got the Mini Bird. That's pretty cool. Hand-built little deal. 57 Cadillac Fleetwood. That is, it's a mild custom. So, it's got the true spoke wheels with the white wall tires. Original interior. The paint is not original, though, I don't believe. So it's got a custom grille. It's been nosed and decked, and it's got a custom metallic paint. So when a car is said to be nosed and decked, what that means is that they have taken off the emblems off the front. They've added this bull nose right here, that peak right there in the hood, and they've shaved off any of the ornamentation on the hood, which is nosed and decked. Then we've got the Jade Idol 2, owned by Bob Shaboom Freeze out of Dearborn, Michigan. The Jade Idol, the first one, as you know, you may not know, was originally built by Gene Winfield out in California. And so he also did this car here, the Jade Idol 2. It's got Frenched handmade taillights, custom headlights, handmade front bumper, 58 Ford roof, and stretch tail fins. And of course, the iconic Winfield fade. Just absolutely gorgeous car. I cannot believe that you know, I'm standing in the presence of greatness here when it comes to Gene Winfield. He's a huge inspiration to me and huge inspiration to a lot of guys out there. Absolutely gorgeous car. And then the car that has always had a special place in my heart, this is a 53 Chevy two-door sedan. I had a 54 and it was custom, but it was nowhere near like this. I mean, look at this this paint job on it, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. He's got ghosted scallops in it that are a little bit more heavy on the metallic than the rest of the paint, so they kind of pop, but they're still subtle enough that they don't stand out. Flip rear bumper, has the fishtail exhaust. Then it's got the Winfield style tail lights back here that have also been Frenched, and the tops of the housings have been stretched. Chop top. Looks like they sunk the rear window into the catwalk back here, so that way they didn't actually have to cut it. Gorgeous interior. Dashboard out of a 56 Chevy, I believe. What does it say? No, it doesn't say. So yeah, I'm going to go with 55, 56 Chevrolet. Custom interior. We've got the wide whites. Painted steelies with the spider caps and beauty rings. 53 grille, Frenched headlights, and it's got the Corvette front teeth. This car here, 51 Ford, two-door sedan. I remember when this car was actually being built. This car was a complete, you could put it outside and it wouldn't cast a shadow. So to see this car here to where it is today, absolutely gorgeous. I mean, the paint job, I mean, purple is my favorite color, so this really hits home for me. But it's got the stock hubcaps, painted, body matched, painted steelies, lake pipes, and the interior out of a 64 Ford Thunderbird, I believe. Again, gorgeous car. Here is a 50 Mercury two-door sedan. This is the 49 to 51 Mercuries are some of the most iconic cars that have been customized over the years. Now this one right here, as far as 51 Mercs go, or 50 Mercs go, I'm sorry, I would have to say is probably one of the more mild Mercs, because really all they really didn't chop it, which a lot of Mercs are chopped. This one has not been chopped. So Merc stainless on the side. It's got M&T wheels here, along with the wide whites. Custom paint job, custom interior. It's got the purple and white candy cane interior. Sweet flame paint job. And then you go back here, and it's been nosed and decked. So again, nosed and decked. When it says decked, that's exactly what it means. They've taken off the ornamentation on the back, and it's just as smooth as it can be. So again, absolutely gorgeous car. And then one other thing I meant to point out here on Jack's car, if you look here at the top of the door, you can see how the B-pillar's been slanted, and then they've rounded the door corners on the top. Gives it a nicer look. And then on these cars, they would have had a piece of stainless that went down the center of the windshield here, but as you can see, it's been V-butted. So they've taken that away. That's pretty cool. Here's a pretty trick Riviera. It's reminiscent of that Lincoln at the car show last week that was on the video, the blue one. It's had a lot of custom work done to it. They call this the new concept custom. I mean, that's pretty freaking cool, huh? Look at this, they've done some metal work here. The interior of it's still fairly well stock, is what you find on a Buick Rivi. But other than that, it's got covers over the lights here, because there's not really a whole lot you can do with modern style lights, but it's still gorgeous. And this car here is the Voodoo Spider. It started off as an 80s model Jaguar. So, I mean, just to see the, what was it, 83 Jaguar XJS is what this car started off as. Look at the interior on this thing. It's got exhaust piping for the gauge pods. It's absolutely insane. Got the cell phone, or the cell phone, has a car phone in it, and a helmet for the driver. So over here we've got the Vibrasonic, which was built by Eldon Titus back in the early part of the 2000s. Unfortunately, we lost Eldon here several years ago, and he actually passed away while this car was being built. So Daryl Starbird and all of his friends in Wichita stepped in and picked up where he left off and got her across the line here. So huge shout out to those guys. Beautiful car. 51 Ford business coupe here. Look at that heavy flake on this thing. Absolutely gorgeous car. It's got a Frenched antenna back here in the back. Don't know if you can see that. Let's see if we can scan it. Zoom in there. There we go. Frenched antenna. If you can actually see back there in the mirror, that car actually has newer style Cadillac taillights. It has ribbed bumpers front and back with Cadillac sombrero caps, custom interior, and then Appleton spotlights, which they don't necessarily work. It was more of a styling cue from the 50s to put on your custom car. And then the little peak mirrors. At 46 Ford here, or I'm sorry, 46 Ford, 46 Chevrolet is what this is. As you can see, there's been an insane amount of work done on it. It has a Chrysler Firepower, so it's got a Hemi in it, supercharged Hemi, with 6 single barrel, looks like Stromberg carbs. Absolutely insane. You got Pinky here, look at this. That's pretty cool. Beautiful color. Beautiful color. Love this. Over here we've got a 49 Chevrolet. It has been heavily chopped, channeled, lowered, sectioned, all that good stuff. As you can see here, they've cut the hood so that it raises up right about where the crown would be. They changed the grille, they Frenched the headlights and turn signals and all this other kind of crazy stuff with an awesome paint job. Really nice interior, and really the only thing that was left stock on this car was the size of the rear fenders. I mean, that's just nuts. Of course, they Frenched the taillights with 59 Cadillac taillights. 50 Chevy Deluxe Fleet Line. Apparently it's been lowered 5 inches. It's been nose and decked. And then it's got a modified 53 Chevy grill bar. Which, yep, I can see that. Very cool. And we got a fiberglass T Roadster over here. Really nice car, kind of gives me some ideas as to where I want to go with mine. Got the Olds Rocket in it. And a 48 Fleetmaster. This one here has got a LS1 in it. So I bet this thing gets. It's been tubbed, chopped 3 inches. They leaned the B-pillars forward and shaved the door handles. Looks like they also peaked the fenders here on the edge, because if memory serves me right, that wasn't actually peaked. I don't know. Very cool. So over here we've got what was well, I guess it still is. It's a 1932 Ford 2-door, built by Dave Stuckey in Wichita, also known as the Little Coffin. It's got a 291 DeSoto Hemi V8 in it. Custom grill and headlights, cantilevered roof, louvered belly pan, one-piece taillights, along with a 9-inch chop. So basically, pretty much other than what you see here, it's basically stock. So, I mean, this is just a So that's a really cool car. I'll let you guys look in on that right there, see what that says. Really cool car. We've got a 1945 Dodge WC64 KD. This is what was known as a knockdown ambulance, which means that they could knock it down, knock the sides down, everything like that, and they can put them on ships to be shipped out over to Europe. Would have had room for, I don't know, 6 to 8 wounded, and then 2 or 3 crew members. So here's the back of it. Very bare as far as what you would think an ambulance should be, but the purpose of these was just to get them off of the battlefield and get them to medical care so they can come home. So they said that there's only about 3,500 built, and there's only 30 known to still exist. So it's kind of rare to see something like this. Got a 1986 Ford Econoline ambulance here. This is owned by the Osage Ambulances in Lynn, Missouri. It's in really good shape for an older ambulance because, you know, these things are red and hard and put up wet. Absolutely gorgeous.
Maybe longer. Let's quickly go over this morning. The tornado warning for northeastern right.
Got a really nice Willis Jeep here. Yes, Willis, not Willys. It's Willis. 1948 CJ2A. And according to the information board here, this was purchased by KSAL to go out and service radio towers. (1929) a station wagon. Really nicely well done. And this one right here is really cool. This is a 28 Ford Model A. It's also known as a Snowbird. So it's got treads on the back that'll run off the rear tires. And this is so your rural areas could get like their mail and other supplies and things like that for when the snow was too bad or the mud or whatever. So that way they could, you know, get out there with some sort of efficiency. And then we look over here and we've got an old Grandpa Mater here. It's a 1949 Dodge tow truck. Sitting next to it's a 1964 Ford F-350 tow truck. Truck was purchased new by Morris and Anderson's Towing, and they had the tow bed put on it the same year. And a young guy has actually purchased this vehicle with the intent on restoring it back to the way it was. This truck here is owned by the Salina Airport Authority. We'll go around. 1966 Ford F-250. Even though this truck does have a newer replacement, it is actually still used at the airport. And then a 1995 Harlan Airport Tug. They use this to, of course, you know, move around little airplanes and ground support equipment. Got ourselves a really cool little taxi. Here's 1962 Studebaker Lark. Owned by Chuck Donkel out of Los Alamos, Colorado. Got a 289 Studebaker V8 putting out 225 horsepower. Now this here's a cool car. This is a 1944. I don't know, what year is this? No, I'm sorry, 1941 Chevy Special Deluxe taxi cab. I mean, could you imagine, you know, riding around one of these is 20 cents to your first quarter mile, and then 5 cents after that. And then they charge you an extra 5 cents. Also over here, of course, as you know, we've got Rosie and the pretty old girl sitting next to her. This is a 1940 Henny Packard that is owned by the Faulkners out in Spring Hill, Kansas. This is what they call the new three-way. So the purpose of this car is that you can slide the table out to either load or unload the casket here, depending on where your unloading point is. A lot of these here were done on this side here, so that way they can pull up to the curb and you don't have the funeral director and your pallbearers and other family members standing in the mud or standing in traffic. And then I don't know how well you can see it, but just inside here it actually has shelves for flowers. Got this beautiful burgundy mohair interior. Absolutely fantastic car. Car has been fully restored to its current condition. Rumor has is that it did some time out in Pennsylvania, and the current owner found it in Washington. And Pinwell Gable is actually the name of a funeral home up in the Kansas City area. And of course we have Rosie here. I really wish we could clean her glass right now, because it didn't clean up too well. Anyways, here she is in all her spooky glory. I'm gonna walk down here and go check out the police cars, and I think that right there will be just about the end of the tour for the museum here today. We've got some really nice police cars down here. Gonna hang out and see what else we can find. Got a 1982 Plymouth Fury here. Even though it was smaller than its Ford and Chevy counterparts, this car was actually faster and cheaper. I believe the top speed on this car here was 121 miles an hour, and it served up until about 1994, even though Dodge or Chrysler Company discontinued the Fury in 1989. This is absolutely, it's really a stunning car. I mean, to look at it, I mean, this is pretty freaking cool. Yeah, this is 1987 Plymouth Fury. I'm sorry, 1982. How cool is that? 175 horsepower out of a 318. This is a 1962 Mercury Monterey. Now this car is a reproduction, or say reproduction, it's a replica of a Bunker Hill police car. That's pretty darn cool. And this right here is everybody's favorite, everybody's favorite or everybody's scariest memory. It is a 2011 Ford Crown Vic. Of course, it has the 4.6 in it, making 239 horsepower. This car was in service from October 7th of 2011 until December 1st of 2021. So that's quite some time to be out on the road doing what she does. But huge testament to how well built these Crown Vic police interceptors are. I don't care. Also, I know Right here's a 1937 Plymouth Deluxe. This is actually still owned by the Kansas Highway Patrol, that they keep it in their I guess museum fleet or whatever it is you want to call it. So this right here would have been, you know, back then, the cars were basically what you could find on your dealership lot. There was nothing special to them. So everybody was pretty much on the same playing field when it came to pursuits. It just came down to who's the better driver. (1967) Harley Davidson Electric Glide. Again, still owned by the Kansas Highway Patrol, like all of these cars are, with the exception of, well, those two back there. So these three vehicles, then, I guess you could say. Actually, I lied. This isn't going to be the end of it, because we're going to go right over here and go look at these fire trucks. How cool is that? Salina police bike. And then so this truck, in the 40 years it was in service, it only put up about 3,000 miles. Such a cool truck. Look at that. And this right here, this is really cool. 1928 Aaron's Fox PS4 fire truck. It's got the huge engine-driven pump on the front. Look at that engine. That is freaking nuts. Built in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Here's some impressive facts about this mighty panther. The tank holds 14,000 liters.
How cool is that?
If you were to put that volume into soda cans, you'd end up with 42,000 cans.
A 998 cubic inch engine and an inline 6, making 130 horsepower. That's nuts. All right, guys, really hope you enjoyed your trip through the museum. It was great to take you guys through there so you can see what it is we have out here in Kansas. If you like what you're seeing, we'd appreciate it if you'd like, share, subscribe. Click that notification button down there at the bottom. Click that like. Can't tell you what to do. I'm not your dad. But anyway, that's going to do it for today. You guys have a great week. Happy Monday. Take care.